Hello and welcome to the most boring man on YouTube. Today we've got the first sprint race weekend of the season in Formula One. We're at the Austrian Grand Prix, which is at the Redbull Ring. Now, some news to bring you just before the qualifying starts. Now, there's been an increase in the cost cap around 4%, which will mean about £4 million per team increase. I think that's due to inflation and increased cargo costs for the teams. And also the regulations that were coming in for the porpoising and the bouncing, they were due to come in place in France, but they have been moved back to Belgium now just after the summer break. Now, we've just to run through for those who've not know about this before, but when we have a sprint race weekend, we have the qualifying, which takes place on a Friday, which sets the grid for the sprint race, which takes place on Saturday, which the finishing position of the sprint race sets the grid for Sunday's main race. Saturdays see some points for the top few drivers, and Sunday's points as per usual. So there's extra points to be had this weekend on Saturday for the sprint race. Some news before the main event, really. Bottas will start at the back of the grid. He's taken a new engine, one of his allotted engines for the season, but that will see him start last. Now, that won't see him start last for the sprint race, where he qualifies today on Friday for the sprint race. He'll start, but the penalty will take place and see him start last for Sunday's race. Lando Norris had issues in practice one. He had car issues, so let's see how that plays out and if they've managed to get that fixed for a long-term fix, and see how hopefully no issues for the race tomorrow. Now, we just had qualifying one, and we've got Latifi and the Williams starting last. We've then got Zhou Guanyu in the Alfa Romeo in 19th. Lance Stroll for Aston Martin in 18th. Sebastian Vettel for Aston Martin in 17th. And the surprise of this session really has been Daniel Ricciardo. His poor run continues and he's out in Q1 in the McLaren. Aston Martin bought some big upgrades, and again they've struggled in Q1 in qualifying again. So I don't know if they're just having issues bringing their tyres up to pace. But moving on now into qualifying two. And so qualifying two topped off a poor day for McLaren, with Lando Norris qualifying 15th. He did come on the radio to say he was scared to press the brakes. He's been having brake issues, and apparently this McLaren is difficult to stop, which is not what you want around the Red Bull ring. Yuki Tsunoda had a poor run. His last run in T, he messed up to turn one and went off. He qualified 14th. Valtteri Bottas 13th in the other Alpha. Kind of expect him to get in the top 10 these days, the way he's running in the Alpha. I'm just not sure if this track doesn't suit them this weekend. Next is Alex Albon in 12th. Now, he could have been the one that looked like he should have got into the top 10. Just kept running wide on the last turn and having lap times deleted. And 11th place is Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri. And so into Q1, what a crazy qualifying one we've had there. Two red flags. The first one, Lewis Hamilton going off around turn 7, lost it with seemed what maybe a tailwind, lost a rear end, tried to catch the slide, but before you know it was into the barrier. He'll start the race 10th tomorrow. Alonso in P9, just didn't seem to see much of him in that qualifying. But seems like a poor qualifying, seeing as his teammate Ocon ended up in 6th. Mick Schumacher, great qualifying for him in 8th in the Haas. Magnussen again in the Haas 7th, so fantastic qualifying for them, showing promise again since Canada. Let's see if they can get double points finish in the sprint race tomorrow and see where they end up with race pace. George Russell caused the second red flag almost as soon as the first one cleared. He was the first car out. around the last corner, just seemed to lost it. Maybe it just took too much in, and there is a headwind there coming into that last corner, so maybe that unsettled the rear end, and again the rear end sliding, and off he went deep into the barrier. But some rear wing damage, hopefully nothing to cause any other damage. Perez in the Red Bull ended up in fourth. Now, and there was a note before Q1, following Q2, that they will investigate Perez for track limits, and that will follow after the session. So let's see what the outcome of that is before the sprint race tomorrow. Now, the top three was Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, then followed by Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, and the home favourite here by a mile with the fans cheering, Max Verstappen on pole. What a fantastic qualifying we had. It was literally coming down to the last sector effectively. Just less than a tenth in it, with the top three all very tightly packed. But Verstappen stole it. We had two so-so first and second sectors, but on the last sector just managed to take pole there. So yeah, we should have a cracking sprint race tomorrow. I mean, it looked like the Mercedes were right up there, fighting for pole or second, third place. So it'll be interesting to see them fight through the field. Hamilton in 10th and Russell in 5th. Hopefully there's no issues for them to take. So it looks like we're all set for a cracking sprint race tomorrow. Let's see how the Haas holds up. Leclerc, Sainz going after Max in the sprint race tomorrow, so that'll be some exciting race. So see you all then. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe with the most boring man on YouTube, and we'll see you tomorrow for the sprint race. Take care.